What about, you say spending is still out there. So what's happening? Because inflation is still too high. Spending is high, but consumer confidence is taking a hit. So it's like people know things are bad and they're still spending, or is it a cohort that's spending for the rest of us? What's happening?
People are spending money, but they're just not happy about what they're having to spend for. Like you get it, that sense with the cost of living arguments, and there's a lot of surveys showing people are upset about how much they're paying for. But I go to the fact, like, the spending on cafes and restaurants is 30% up on where it was pre-COVID. Spending on household goods, anything in your palatial residence here in Canberra, it's also up more than about a third since pre-COVID. And spending on food, now food spending should really grow in line roughly with population growth and a little bit of inflation. It's up 17% over the last 24 months.
And that's beyond even higher prices of some things.
That is beyond higher prices. So that is, people saying, look, it's supply chain issues, everything else. But there is a lot of money in the community. There's a lot of demand. And it makes sense.
Yeah.
We've never had so many people working. Like, unemployment is exceptionally low. About 13.5 million people in the workforce. They have money to spend. And
people saved up during COVID. Look, a lot of people took out loans well before they got to record lows. So the first few interest rate rises weren't a shock to them. It was going back to situation normal. But the RBA was slow to act on the way up. Do you think there's a chance that we're not going to see as many rate rises as they're talking? Because this all could sort of take effect. These interest rate rises could take effect quite suddenly. There's a delay in them and it might really catch up, post-Christmas, credit card bills come in, whatever it is. This could happen, the end of this could happen quicker than we think.
I think it'll be, especially as people who took out... Remember, we had a large number of people took out fixed mortgages.
Yeah.
And Australians don't do that
now, aren't they?
And Australians have never been a large fixed mortgage population. Like, if you go to the US, you're talking 98% of people on 30-year fixed mortgages in this country.
30 years?
30-year mortgages. So that's why interest rates in the US take a lot longer to move and have an impact. Here, we've got, I think it's about 1 million people who are going to be coming off a fixed rate mortgage that was fixed with an interest rate of sub 2%. And they're going to be hit by an interest rate of 5.5. That means, like on an $800,000 mortgage, you're looking at a $1,200 a month increase in your mortgage. That's going to hurt, and that's why I think next year, and that's what the bank's looking towards, because interest rate rises now, their biggest impact is in 12 months' time. So they're looking forward all the time.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting about inflation, because it's supposed to not get back to the target band until the end of 2024.
Yeah.
But even that target band is supposedly, up for grabs in the RBA review. So does this need to get done pretty quickly so we know whether 2 to 3 is really important or not? Well,
the review's due to finish by the end of March next year. So, yes, we will know.
It's quick for a review, but
it is
quick.
But of all the reviews, and this is where the Reserve Bank's been caught out, and governments and both sides not doing anything, looking at how the Reserve Bank's operating, every other central bank in the developed world has gone through this discussion, and they continue to go through this discussion about targets and the such.
Because it's not set in stone. It has been for so long, but it just was a figure that I think New Zealand sort of came first.
New Zealand was first, yeah.
We sort of pretend that it's this set in stone figure, but it's just an economic theory, really.
It's a theory that's worked well,
but we haven't hit it.
We haven't hit it, and the central bank really hasn't hit it since about 2014.
It's the moment of predictions. We all had our predictions for the Cup yesterday. So where
Yours was pretty poor.
Came second.
Yeah. No one remembers. I know Red Nose beat Salamander.
Where will the rates top out?
I think somewhere between 3.1, 3.5.
So that's lower end of predictions.
Lower end, yeah. And I think that's because we're going to see the impact of the world economy hit us in the next 12 months, as well as what's going on in the property market.
We like predictions.
There you go. You can say I'm wrong in 12 months' time.
Shane Wright, thank you. I'd never say that.